To see you all.
Welcome to our August town hall. Got some exciting items to share with everybody here.
Woo.
Happy Wednesday to you all. Hopefully your week's been going well so far.
I encouraged others to have questions ready to ask, so I wasn't the only one asking questions.
I like that, Charles. Nice.
I was like, please come ask questions.
I won't be shy, Charles. You know that.
Hey Melissa, how you doing? Hey Charles.
Hey, guys.
All right. Should we get started?
Yeah, we got everybody in, right?
Let's rock.
Let's
Rock
get
and roll.
rolling.
All righty. Well, welcome to the future of support, the August 2025 town hall. We're going to follow the same format that we normally do here for the town hall. So we'll do some special announcements. We'll look at the Extendly OS month in review, what's coming next with Extendly OS, manage content inside Extendly OS, and then for those folks that are on the manage human rollover and onboarding, we will look at how we're doing on those metrics. So jumping into the AI onboarding pilot program, Bant, you want to talk about kind of what your vision for this is?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you guys all know, over the last couple of webinars, we made an announcement that we want to help build AI agencies that are using and employing AI tools available within HighLevel. And as part of that initiative, we are going to pilot free white label onboardings for the AI employee product. So if you land a customer and that customer comes on board, you're using voice AI, conversation AI, reviews AI for them, then we will help you help take that customer to fully onboarded versus just the tech setup, right? Currently, our onboarding service provides the tech setup and the training, but there is that gap of that a launch call is still required to get the customer going with after they've been onboarded. So with this new AI onboarding pilot program, we will offer a completely free onboarding service to you as an agency. Today, you're also paying for it as well. So this will be free as long as we're able to work out all the different mechanics we have, which is why we're running this on a pilot program first. If we get good feedback and everything's working well, then we'll open it up to anybody and everybody that is willing to let our team do the onboarding service there. So from the tech setup to the training of the AI agents, essentially a working voice AI assistant or a conversational AI assistant and a review response assistance is ready out of the gate once that customer hops off the call with us. And so they're ready to launch. They're ready to publicize the phone number and all of that as well. Again, it'll be 100% free. There won't be a per onboarding cost to you guys. We're looking for 5 agencies to join the program. The couple of the criteria that we're looking for here is one, you got to have at least 1 customer per week that we can onboard on your behalf. And you got to be on one of our support plans in order for us to do this pilot with you. And if that's you, go ahead and let us know whether in the chat or we'll let you know exactly. For now, just put it in the chat for us, and we'll reach out to you and get you going there. We'll have a conversation with you, explain all the different details that there are. any catches that there may be that, want to clarify everything up front to everybody. The one requirement that I haven't mentioned is that in order for us to successfully provide that as a free resource, we will require that customer be that Extendly is placed as an affiliate of in your agency for those customers, and we can explain that in detail exactly how that works. That way, we're able to offer these for free to you without any cost at all. So that's those are the details there. If that works, and you are able to bring in at least one person on board per week. I see a few people already saying sign me up in the chat. We'll go ahead and reach out to you and we'll get you going, and then eventually we'll make it available to everybody else as well.
One added point for those of you that don't know, with AI Employee, you can put in an affiliate code when you turn AI Employee on for a new sub account, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. Same price, everything like that. So just so everyone knows, no additional skin off your back on that front.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, you want to talk about this one as well?
Yeah, an exciting achievement, a milestone that we reached. We've paid out $1 million in affiliate commissions to the folks that promote Extendly, recommend Extendly, whether that's customers or sending referrals using the affiliate link that we have. If you don't know about our affiliate program, right now is a chance for you to learn about it. A lot of fellow agency owners may ask, "Hey, what are you using?" As more and more folks come in, we'd love for you to recommend and refer Extendly and get paid commission for it. We offer lifetime recurring commission as long as that customer stays with us for while they're on a support plan with us. So $1 million paid out to those folks so far, and I've noticed looking at our affiliate manager, it is getting faster and faster, and the next million is going to be much sooner than this one took.
Right. Coaching calls, Zach Cunnins. You want to touch on this?
Yeah, just a reminder to folks, lots of free coaching items for people. Some of the items that we discuss, so Zach G is going to be going into new Extendly OS items. Would highly suggest that you guys join our Thursday calls. I know we have had a bit of a different time change on that, so apologies if anyone if anyone was showing up at the 1 o'clock. We moved this to noon on Thursday now, so that's happening tomorrow. If you see features that you're interested in, or you want to see more practical use cases on how Extendly OS can make you more money, how it can help reduce churn, whatever it may be, we're going to go through practical use cases. There will be Q&As, but that Thursday call is now going to be dedicated to Extendly OS, especially when you start seeing all the new features. You're going to want to be on that call. And then we have the rest of our calls as usual. Monday, 10 a.m., what's new with AI? That's obviously changing a lot. I'm sure we'll mention at some point what Ben just mentioned with white label onboarding. Then sales coaching with Moneybags, Charles Higgins. That's been going on for quite a while. And then Friday help with any snapshot support. And then as always, we have our 4-day boot camps. If anyone here is newer to GHL or you want a refresher, we get phenomenal feedback on this. We barely talk about this 4-day boot camp, but would highly suggest this. It's just a nice refresher on items as well too. I'm going to drop some of those links too here in the chat. If you guys are interested, anyone can join these calls as well too. I think that's everything.
Right. All right. So just a reminder that we have an ideas portal, and we are using this to orient our future development. And we've had a lot of good ideas coming in from everyone, and upvotes coming in from lots of folks. You can access this at ideas.extendly.com. And so anything that you want to see us do on the software side with Extendly OS, go log in. You can log in using your Extendly OS credentials, And you can drop ideas in the portal. You can upvote existing ideas, and that helps us a lot in terms of building the things that you want to see us build. All right, so Extendly OS month in review. So we had a pretty monster release hit production just last night. So we have quite a bit to cover. So I'm going to try to move relatively quickly through this. And then at the very end, I'm going to try to defer questions to the end. And then at the end, we can go through any questions that you guys have. So let's get into it.
Before Zach jumps right into that, I want to ask, is there anybody here who doesn't know what Extendly OS is?
Ooh, good question.
If you don't know, it's completely okay. It's our job to educate you on that. Just drop a one, just so we know. Or if you're kind of unsure of what that is, let us know, and we'll help you bring you up to speed there. All right, Zach.
Alrighty. Okay, so the first thing is that you'll notice when you get into the platform today, things look and feel a little bit different. We have a little bit of a change on the sidebar layout and just the general application frame. So one of the main things that some of you, this is only going to apply to some folks, but some of you that have more than one agency, that you're facilitating in Extendly OS, you might be wondering, where do I exactly go to switch my agency? So that has changed a little bit. You can see in the GIF here on the screen that you're going to go click on your profile, kind of in the lower part of the sidebar there, and then you can click switch agency, and that's where you'll see the list of agencies, and you can change your agency there. So that's one update there. And then along the same lines, you'll have the ability to go to your profile by clicking on that same area of the sidebar down there, and then you can click on my profile. This is where you can change your primary email. Right now, that's all we have in the profile section. We'll be building more out there, but that has now its own little kind of special place where that lives. Another update here. This is a big one, just important for everyone. Anybody that's used Extendly OS has seen we have had a red banner that pops up inside the application that lets you know when there is problems with HighLevel OAuth, when your agency account is disconnected from HighLevel. Now, some of the communication on that red banner has been a little bit aggressive, or maybe left the wrong impression with folks that this was an emergency, something that you needed to handle right away. Now, we've changed the messaging on this just a little bit to make it make a little bit more sense so everyone understands what are the implications exactly of my account not being connected to HighLevel. So it's changed from a red banner to a yellow banner. We've added some different messaging here and just some learn more messaging you can click on, and you can see what exactly is happening when my agency loses connection with HighLevel. One additional note on this is for many months we've been working with HighLevel to make some improvements to the way that they do OAuth, and here in the last 4 weeks or so, they finally made a change that we've been asking them for a very long time. It's very technical, so I won't get into it, but the long and short of it is it's going to help us improve a lot the issue that we're having with agencies being disconnected from HighLevel. So you can expect moving forward that you're going to see this less and less and less over time in general. Alrighty, moving on. So widget creation toast. Lots of folks have several web widgets, and when you have a whole list of web widgets, one of the things that was happening, and this was a request, is people would create a new widget, and then it would get added to the end of the list, and people would say, where did my widget go? I don't exactly know. It was added to the end of the list. So now what you're going to see when you create a new widget is a little toast that pops up. You can see that at the top, letting you know, hey, there was a widget added. You can just click on that and go directly to the widget settings, just making it a little bit easier to go straight to it instead of having to scroll to the end of all of your widgets.
So these, a quick note on those widgets there. There's two types of widgets that you have inside this widgets area. One is your support widget. That's the, or also known as the HighLevel widget, Extendly widget. Essentially, it's the widget, the Help Center widget that goes inside your HighLevel where you interact with knowledge base, articles, live chat, all of that there, right? And your customers interact with that. And then the other is what's called a web widget, or in the past we've called it an engagement widget as well. This is what goes on your website or your customers' websites. If you go to getextendly.com, you'll notice our widget on our website, and it has multiple choices there. It's not just a chat widget. So if you want yours to look similar to that and or want to provide additional options than just a chat widget there, the web widgets is exactly what allows you to do that. There's a lot more it does than just providing multiple options, but essentially in a nutshell, that's what it's for.
Alrighty, moving on here. So with respect to AI usage, so we behind the scenes have had an AI quota for support AI for some time. And the way that we've been going about this is when we have customers that are reaching quota, we've just been reaching out to them directly and letting them know, hey, we're going to need to, upgrade your plan or something along those lines. And we haven't had a visible way of showing people how their AI usage is looking, what they're actually using in terms of support AI messages. So we now have a meter bar showing up on the sidebar when you go to widgets, and you'll be able to see how many messages your support AI has used from your quota. And from there, we can work out different ways that you can get more messages if needed and all of that kind of stuff. Another thing that we've added previously, whenever there was an issue with AI, so for some reason, let's say one of the AI providers has like downtime, like OpenAI or Gemini or something like that, and the AI is not working for some reason. Previously, what would happen is the chat just wouldn't work because we would have no fallback, no way of handling that fallback of the AI being out for some reason. And especially for folks that don't have any human rollover with us, meaning it's not going to roll over to live chat, there wasn't really anything that they could do at that point in time. It would just air out. So now, within the Extendly support tool in your widget, you have the ability to select a high-level form that you can use as the AI fallback. And so this will function in a manner that if for some reason the AI can't answer the question and you don't have a managed human rollover plan, or there's some kind of AI outage or something like that that would cause the AI to not be able to respond, it will just be able to fall back to a form. So at least your users can still get in touch with you and let you know that they have a question and all that kind of stuff. Next thing is we have some improved UX within location management for the universal onboarding form link. So for those of you that don't know what this is, there's essentially a special link that you can use. This is the link that you would put on the agency level, and you add this as a custom menu link to the side of your agency, and this allows your users, any users that you've assigned a form to go and essentially open that form. So there's just one special link that you can use that has like a custom value merge tag in it. It's technically a system field, but the location ID is in that special link, so it knows which location someone's opening it from. Previously, users were having a bit of a hard time finding this link or knowing exactly how to use it. So we've just improved the messaging a little bit here and added a little how it works box and made it easier to get to this link so everybody knows exactly how to take that link and install it in their dashboard. Next thing, there was not previously a way to archive templates or delete them. So you could create a template, but then it would just kind of be in there forever. So people were asking us, hey, we need a way to delete the templates that we created. So we've added that. There's now a way to archive form templates that you've created. All right, and then some bigger things. So now we're getting into just a few things here that we released yesterday that are in beta. So what this means is we have them protected behind a feature flag wall because they're brand new. There might still be a few issues with them or something like that. So these are in beta, and anybody that wants early access to this, I know that you're going to say that you do, Charles, but anybody that wants early access to this, you can just ping in the chat or let us know, like, hey, I want to test this out. As long as you understand it's very early, there's probably still going to be like a few things that we're discovering with it that we need to fix and all that kind of stuff. So one of these is nudge delivery for news. So what this means is in your news and announcements, you have the ability to essentially take a news article and then you can deploy that directly into HighLevel. So not just inside of the widget itself, but you can choose, hey, I want this to pop up as a banner. I want this to pop up as a modal in HighLevel. So other ways of delivering that information that are actually a little bit more disruptive and outside of the context of the widget. So this would be used if you had, for example, a really important announcement that you wanted all your users to see, and you said, hey, I want this to actually pop up in a banner. I want this to pop up in a modal or something like that. So that's something that is in beta that you can test. Pretty excited about that. Another thing that's been much anticipated by everyone is the dashboards. So we have this in beta as of yesterday. So we have two different dashboards. We have you'll see a new route in your sidebar if you participate in the beta. So those of you that aren't in the beta, you won't see this yet. But if we pull the feature flag down for you, you'll be able to see this. So you have a new route on the side. You can see it says conversations. And so you have a conversations dashboard. So there's two parts to this. There's support AI performance. So this is the giving you some aggregate numbers on what's happening with the AI agent for support. And so you can kind of see here, and you'll also be able to see down at the bottom some information on how much you're saving. Now, we have had a few feature requests come in to be able to like hover over that information over the savings at the bottom and get some additional information on how we're actually computing those savings numbers and all that. So we do plan on doing that. We haven't done that yet. But you can see the support AI performance dashboard here, and then here we have the managed human rollover metrics dashboard as well. So both of these are going to be in beta. Alrighty. So before we get into the coming soon, I'll take a pause. Let's see if we have any questions. I haven't been looking at the chat, guys. I don't know if you guys have. I don't know if we have any questions that we need to address before we get into the next section here.
We do. We do have some people who are facing some issues, and I'm just taking the information and just creating tickets for the team. So guys, if you're missing some UI in the app, or if you're seeing something that might be related to something recent, let me know. DM me your account ID, and I'm just creating issues, and the team's gonna get on it ASAP.
Ready?
I agree with Beyond. I'll just say that with his chat.
I've always said this. Careful what you wish for.
Hey, I run developer betas on my daily use computer. Okay, I love living on the edge.
Yeah.
What can I
okay.
say?
Hey guys, I have a quick question. I put it in notes a couple weeks ago. Any chance we'd be able to get the Extendly support widget in the community? We keep getting asked, technical support questions in the community, even though we keep telling them no. Thoughts on that?
You can
Short
only do
answer.
it.
The short answer is so in the long term, we do want to make support AI available inside of web widgets, not just in the HighLevel widget. The challenge there is with the HighLevel widget, we're using HighLevel OAuth to get everybody signed in. So if you use a web widget, then we don't know that user's not signed in. So we basically don't know who has access to actually chat with support and who doesn't. So to do that, we need to basically create a login system that can happen outside of the context of HighLevel. Because as you know, the communities uses a different login entirely than HighLevel login itself into the sub account layer. So
Gotcha.
so we are interested in doing that. We just have to figure out what the best way would be to do that.
There could be a potential workaround in the time being. I haven't tested this, but if our web widgets are able to be installed in the communities, which I would assume that they are, correct me if they're not. If that is the case, then you can create a web widget for the communities and then have button there that routes them back to their HighLevel for support, where they can get access. So essentially opening up app.yourwhitelabel.com, and it takes them to their account, and then they log in, and now they can get support right from that Help Center widget that's already there.
Yeah, that might be something that we could do as a bit of a bridge strategy. I like that. It's a good idea. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna go ahead and move on here into the coming soon. We have a little bit of content to cover in this as well. So, you all have seen us talk about the discussion history before. So this is still coming soon. Sergio has been working very hard on this. And so this is going to be, when this is done, this is going to go into the same conversations link that I just showed you for the dashboard metrics within your sidebar. And so here very soon, we're kind of on the very tail end of this now. So almost done with this, not quite ready yet, but very soon you'll be able to see a history of all of your AI discussions, and you'll be able to see a history of the human rollover for those of you that are on managed rollover by Extendly plans. The conversations that are happening with our live chat agents, you'll be able to see a history of those conversations as well. Alrighty, and then here we have a video. I have it at 1.2x because I talk very slowly, I've came to realize. And so this is just an update on what's happening with our widget redesign. Want to loop all of you into the widget redesign project just because we want to get early feedback here. So anything that you see happening inside this that makes sense to you, great. Doesn't make sense to you, these are the types of things that's very helpful for us for you to add ideas to the ideas portal for. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video, and let me make sure. I'm going to probably have to stop sharing and just reshare my screen here just to make sure that I get system audio on this. So give me just 1 second. Ready. There we go. And then I will share system audio, share sound. There we go. Alrighty. And can everybody see my screen again here?
Yep.
All right, beautiful. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this. Everyone, Zach Gillen here. Very excited today. Want to give you a little bit of an update on the widget redesign project. We have lots of exciting stuff here. Feeling really good about this flow, and so I want to just kind of show you what's going on. So what you're looking at right here is the new widget details page, and this is the new user experience for building your widgets. So I'm just going to kind of go through here and show you the styling options. So first of all, we have kind of this ability here for a light and dark theme. So you can switch between light and dark mode here. There's some predefined theme presets, which also respect the light and dark mode configurations as well. And then you can also set your own custom colors if you want to do that here. And then you have the option to select the primary color, background, and widget button color. And so notice that your widget button, when you're using the predefined themes, changes as well along with the themes. So you can go with more of a gradient. You can do a solid color, in which case, you can see the background color here. The whole widget is using that background color. If you do gradient, it's going to bring in the primary color more heavily kind of on the top of the widget, and then, fade in with a gradient. And let me move my video up a little bit so you can see this part here. We also are going to allow you to change the widget position here when you're configuring your widget. So this would be the default position that the widget goes into when it's dropped into a web application. So for example, we have a 15 pixel offset here from Edge. So you can increase the offset like that. You can move it vertically like that. So this is going to be great for applications, for example, like in HighLevel, where sometimes the widget might be covering something else. So you can set your default configuration to kind of move it if you want to do that. And then of course we're going to allow users to move it out of the way manually as well, and refine that experience also. So one of the other new things that we're bringing in here, so right now what we're looking at is just the home page, more or less, of the widget. And so if I flip over here to spaces, these are our new kind of navigation spaces. And so what we can do here is, and I'll review these spaces in more detail, but if we go in here into the spaces and we turn these on, you can notice now we have a nav bar down at the bottom. So we can just flip through here. We can turn on these various different spaces, and now we have a nav bar at the bottom. But in the case that users don't want a nav bar and for some reason they just want the home page only, this is kind of the way that ChatHQ users, for example, used to use the ChatHQ widget. And so that is something that you can do if you want to do it that way. No problem at all. Okay, so moving on to the home page. So we've revamped the way that tools are added to the home page. So this is really cool. When you click Add Tool, you're going to get a new modal. This is where you see all of the tools that you can add to your home page or your home space on the widget. So let's just go ahead and add a few things. So we'll go ahead and add the Send a Message tool. We can go ahead and add, let's see, how about we do the Pinned Articles tool, and we'll add the Video Embed tool as well. So there's a bunch of exciting stuff here with each of these tools. We can go through each of the tools, and I'll just give a quick walkthrough and again move my video to the top right corner here so it's a little easier to see. But let's start with the Send a Message tool. So in the Send a Message tool, we have the ability to configure a default message here. So when user clicks on Send a Message in the chat widget, the default message that will be used here is, hello, how may we help you today? And put my video right here. But if we go back and we set something here, say, hello, weather is great in Kansas City. How is it where you are? Just something random. So we'll go ahead and set that. And then if we go back to the home here and we send this over here, so you can see now our default message is overriding the default configuration for the chat space. So the Send a Message tool, we're also going to allow you to change what you see here, what the user sees here. So if you want to say something different than Send a Message, you can. Now with all of the tools on the homepage, just calling out the styles again, we do have the ability to change the styles, and you can see we have all the icon colors and everything like that rooted in the styles of the widget itself. So everything kind of dynamically changes to look really great. Same thing with even the message thread. So as a user, if I type back and say anything really, so you can see that same gradient is being applied to the messages sent from user as well. So, we switch to purple, then the messages are purple. So it really is kind of respecting the color scheme everywhere and the tool usage in the widget so that it just looks great everywhere that you are, no matter what. We can use this little mint green here as we keep going through. So we have the pinned articles. And so, by the way, whenever you're adding tools, what's cool is you can see what tools are connected to other spaces. So for example, we can see these tools that have already been added, and we can see space learning for the pinned articles tool. So this tool relates to the learning space. So we can see here, it's telling us, hey, there's no knowledge base selected yet for the learning space. So if we go over here to the learning space and we go down here, we can set our knowledge base. We'll set it to the Go High Level by Extendly knowledge base. We go back to our pinned articles tool down here, and now we can see that we do have our knowledge base selected. We just have some sample articles in here, so we can go ahead and select a few articles. And then those articles will allow us to change the order and all of that kind of stuff, and then they will show up here in this little section as well. And so then we have the video tool, video embed tool. So I'll go ahead and just delete this tool just to free up a little bit of space here. So we have our video embed tool. Now instead of the former tool, which you just had a link to a video and then it went to a subpage, you'll have the ability to actually embed a video right here. So I'll give you an example. So if we have the option here for all the video providers that we offer right now, YouTube, Vimeo, Loom, Wistia. So I have a little Vimeo link here, so I'll just go ahead and paste it in right here. Now you can see that it gives you the video requirements down here for each of the providers. So that way you know what types of links can be used for the embed and all that kind of stuff. Now, it'll give you also a flag as to whether the URL is valid and all that kind of stuff. And if you go down here, we have the ability to select for title and description what actually came from the video metadata. So, the title of this video is Eternity, and there is a description for the video as well. But let's say we didn't want to have a title and description. We only wanted the video itself. So we can just turn these off if we want to do it like that. Or we can turn them back on, but actually set them as custom. So if I do custom here, notice how I can create a custom title instead of using the metadata, and I can do also the custom description as well. So that'll hopefully allow quite a bit of flexibility for video embeds and all of that directly on the homepage of the widget, which is going to be great. And then we have, of course, the custom link tool right here. This is one of the most used tools, the ability to just put whatever link you want And so, we can move it around. We could put the custom link above the video embed if we want, and under the send a message, we can put it down below if we want to do it like that. And in the custom link, you have the ability to change the link name. So if we go down here, so instead of custom link tool, we can just say test, just so you can see. We could set the URL where we want that to go, whether in new tab or same tab. So overall, the experience of adding tools is going to be a lot easier to understand, and the UX just looking way more clean and nice for all the users, as well as the use of colors and everything like that in the widget. So that's the home page, and I'll walk you through the way that Spaces is set up here really quick. All right, so moving on to Spaces. So the next thing that we have here is the configuration of the individual spaces themselves. So let's look at the chat space, for example. So we have the option here for self-managed or external management. External management would be, for example, when you're on a managed human rollover plane with Extendly. So you're going to be using Extendly as your partner for this, and our support AI by Extendly agent, and then our human rollover. Self-managed will be when you're managing these things yourself. So for example, you can set your default welcome message here. So this is the welcome message that you see, for example, when you get into the chat first. Then you also have the ability to customize the avatar, which is what's going to show up over here, or add your own avatar. Then for the management type here and interaction type, you can select whether you want AI that rolls over to human or just human only. So let's, for example, go with the AI plus human option. So we can select the one agent that we have available right now, the support AI by Extendly. And then when we go down into our fallback settings here, this is what you're going to configure if for some reason the agent is unable to answer, or for some reason something's happening with AI, or whatever you might have it there. So you can set whether you want to capture email and phone from the user, or email only, and then we'll forward the inquiries to an email address. And then you can also set the message that users see when that exchange is happening, as well as displaying an average response time if you want to do that. And then lastly, you have priority fallback. So this would take over for the default fallback, and priority fallback allows you to use integrations to manage your human rollover or your AI fallback. So right now we have HighLevel live chat, we have a talk to integration, or if you just want to roll over to a HighLevel form, you can do that as well. So actively working on the chat configuration settings. Let us know if you want to see anything in there, if you have any feedback there. Then we have the learning configuration, pretty cut and dry right here. This is just going to be selecting the knowledge space that you want to use to show up in the learn section of the widget. And we have some kind of new features coming out at some point in time in the future here with using AI to kind of help people curate learning. And then we have pin knowledge space section. So this right now is where the academy comes in, for example. So HighLevel Academy by Extendly. So that is a section in the global knowledge base that you can select that will basically pin that knowledge section to the top of the learning there. So users can have like a particular section that they see before they just see the entire knowledge space in general. And then for news, there's not any additional settings to review right now, so you won't go through that, but you get the basic idea of what's going to happen when you're configuring your various different spaces. And then lastly, you have install. And so this is where we'll give you some instructions on how to install the widget, your installation script, and all of this kind of stuff. And you'll be able to view a complete installation guide. This goes for the HighLevel widget as well as web widgets. So trying to, in general, just make the whole experience easier for everyone involved. So that's it for the updates on the widget. I hope you like it. Again, would love to hear your feedback and any questions that you have and that kind of stuff. So very excited to see this come into production sometime in the near future. Thanks again. Bye-bye. Alrighty, so before we move on to the next section here, just anybody have any feedback or questions or anything like that on everything that we just went over with the widget stuff that's coming? All right, Charles, go ahead.
I like how you wait to see if anybody else has a question first.
Yeah, they have to be
okay,
quick, though. They have to be quick.
Custom elements on the nav bar. Possibility in the plan. So if I want to add outside of the standard ones that you offer, I want to add an icon to that nav bar.
Inside of Extendly OS.
I think he's
Yeah.
talking about
on the widget itself.
On the widget itself, yeah. So if I I
Oh.
don't want to, if maybe you say, okay, we can do this, but max we can only go to 4 or 5. So if you want to use one, you're going to have to turn one off in order to add a custom one. Obviously, there's only so much space.
What would you add?
I mean, I could see where maybe someone is using a custom knowledge base based on their offer, and maybe they're using a separate platform, or maybe they want news to not be the inbuilt news, but they want it to be the news that they're putting on their own blog, and pull that in. I don't know.
So
It's
the core idea being maybe having alternatives to the spaces that Zach showed you, but not necessarily creating new ones.
Well, it could be creating new ones. I could just see where in some agencies, especially when they get into very particular marketing services, they may not have a use for one of the tools. Like, hey, I use everyone but this one, but I'd really like to be able to provide a way or a primary navigation point to get somewhere else. So it feels more part of it and not just a button. Again,
Yeah. So let's do this.
just
I think it may make sense, but we
That's
really
one of
want to
the
focus on we really want to focus on things that are gonna tackle a problem or solve a problem for
yeah,
people.
no,
Uh,
I get it.
yeah. So if you have a specific use case, let us know. We'll talk
Yeah.
about it. If anybody else has a specific use case, whether it's adding options to the spaces that Zach showed you, or creating new spaces and why and what would you use them for, do let us know. The best place to do so is the ideas board, and then just make a lot of noise about it. If you want other people to see it.
I can
Um,
tell you one quick use case that I might use it for is that I want to create more direct links to my client portal. So getting to the client portal dashboard, getting to the community, getting to
mhm,
the courses. Maybe I create a custom one to where all those buttons, because we had the magic links for all those
mhm.
sections, all those are tied in by magic links. And so now instead of having them all on the home page, and the home page being just
Cluttered.
inundated with buttons, it's all under
Yeah,
one tab.
like a secondary
Um,
space for all of
yeah,
them.
because I'm just really pushing people to go to the client portal. Hey, if you
Mhm.
can't find the solution in this widget, the next place you need to go is the client portal.
So
Because
like a
in there we've got,
quick links
yeah,
area space.
yeah, that's one use case that I could think of off the top of my head where, I mean, I do it in my header with a bunch of crazy CSS and JavaScript, but I could see where, um, you could build that in, a user could build that into the widget itself, to create that same experience.
I think the number of spaces would definitely need to be limited in
Yeah.
some way or form. Otherwise, it would just get very cluttered. I think probably 5 is the max you can fit in without
Yeah.
an issue. So and then thereafter, just requiring to turn off one to gain access to the other. But yeah, let's put it on ideas board, and if there's
Mhm.
interest and people are sharing their use cases, which makes sense, then yeah, let's.
upvotes are the currency. Upvotes are the
Yeah.
currency.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
the other thing I was going to say is when you're adding the widgets, we've always had the left to right buttons, the large buttons. I'd love to be able to see an option for different tool widget options. So think like adding a widget to your iPhone home screen. There's different styles that you can add. So giving us more style options. Um, like I use this on my digital business card. Sometimes I just want like a text link, like on the custom link. Um, Maybe I just want text there, or maybe I want the ability to have a medium-sized button that includes an image on the left and then text. So just different style widgets instead of the fixed styles. Because I could
There's
almost see
two
where I could put more
there's
buttons if they're
there's two
square
right now
instead
in the plan. One is like a list style, which is like the
of.
custom link tool. It's just like a
Yep.
single row. Another
Yep.
is interactive tool, which is like the bigger ones that have like multiple items in them and all that kind of stuff. There's there's two right now, but we could look at, like a third one that's like or
Well, and I
something
also
like that.
think,
I would need a
yeah, I
little
mean,
more
like
information on like
having
what.
having like squares. So putting two squares side by side, and
Oh, so
instead
like
of a
layouts, columns and
yeah,
rows and things like that.
like instead of a 2x4 button, I want to do a 2x2 block and a 2x2 block. These are two
Mm,
buttons that I want up at the top side by side, and be able to call more attention to them. Maybe it just a thought.
okay.
Yeah.
Also simplify. This exists, although most people probably don't know it's there. But one thing I would like to make sure gets added when you're updating this is merge fields.
From
Think
HighLevel or from other places?
well, so I'm thinking like user first name, user
Mhm.
name, to where those welcome messages can be easily customized to the user that's actually opening it.
Yeah.
Um,
We've
so
had
just
merge tags for a while since the chat issue engagement widgets. It was a little bit easier to surface them. We need to do a better job of surfacing them. We do have the context of the user who's logged into HighLevel, and that context is available as merge tags. We just need to do a better job at giving you tools to surface them. I am interested in what other pieces of context you would want to use, because for the support widget inside a HighLevel, we have location and company and user information and things like that. But what other pieces of data from HighLevel does it make sense, or do you want to use in the widget to customize the widget's presence? And if you're using web widgets and putting them on a funnel or a landing page or like a website or an e-commerce store, what pieces of data from those systems does it make sense that we take a look at, right? So for all of these, just please put them in the ADS board.
um,
So
um,
TLDR, Charles, yes, that context is still available.
yeah.
We will get around to recording or putting some documentation together.
I just think if
To
there was a way, just like we do in HighLevel, where there's a little tag, you click
Mhm.
it, you pick your
Yeah.
merge field, at least for the HighLevel based ones, to where,
Mhm.
okay, this makes sense from, even if we're just looking at the support side of things, like the welcome message into the widget, like at
Yep.
least starting there. And I think that'll drive more feedback on what else people would like to use there if they
Yeah.
even know it exists.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
good
pretty
call
much what
out.
I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Um,
needs to be in there for sure.
the video integration, love that. Will you be able to, if I'm using YouTube, will I be able to link to a playlist?
So we were
We
talking
talked
about
about
that.
that.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and so far it seems like the playlist functionality that was in Chat HQ is not really used too much, I would imagine, because people
Yeah, most
don't
people were
really
not
want their
using it.
widget to be like function as like a media player, and it kind of like detracts in most cases from like conversions. Whereas like single videos are more hyper focused. It's kind of like, do you want them to go there and just watch a bunch of videos, or do you want them to do something? So that was kind of like the running hypothesis. So we're leaning towards doing away with the playlist and just going with single videos. It makes the UX a little easier as well. But again, if you
Okay.
had like a strong use case for using, like for us to keep that around, you know, want to know about it.
So my because I love Tiana's project, um, I would want to use those videos in a playlist. And the thought process is if I am able to embed that and it's able to show the most recent video from that playlist, because I don't want to have to go in and change it every single time. But if I'm able to utilize a playlist and where it shows the most recent video
Mm,
first from that
okay.
playlist, as I add new instructional videos or new release videos, or maybe I just have a playlist that's dedicated to new releases, updates, things like that. As I add a video to there, it's automatically updated in there. So where they may not go to news and updates, if I can put that on the home screen, at least I know they're seeing at least the most recent update from the
So,
platform,
so,
which may drive engagement to use the platform more.
so you still would want to show just one video, keep the user that's seeing it
Yeah,
focused, but it's
yeah.
about, making it easier to manage the data. Yeah.
Yeah, and if they don't click stop, it could go to the next video. I mean, I wouldn't want like a series of videos. I think just having the one video still, if it can just show the most recent one, I think there's a strong use case for that. And even if you brought that in on the news side of it, if someone maybe didn't want to, they're not seeing a strong adoption into reading the actual articles, but then they put the video widget in there, and it's like, okay, well, they may not be reading the articles, but they're watching all the videos, so I'm happy. I'm still getting that benefit out of news section there. So
That makes
again,
sense.
just driving further engagement into it. All right,
Sounds good.
I'll let Melissa go. I'll
Okay.
shut up now. I still
You're
got
up,
a lot.
Melissa.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I just had a question since you were talking about redesign. When you use the tool, the book a call, the calendar that comes up, I don't know, I thought it was just on mobile, but there's a lot of padding after the scroll bar, so it shortens and wraps your whole calendar. So I
Yep.
was just curious, is there a way to edit that padding? Because I thought it was just because I was on mobile, but it shows that way on desktop as well. So it's almost like the scroll bar is just way too indented on one side.
This
I
is
was
this
just
is
curious.
yeah, that's a good catch. This is a result of us using high-level calendars as they are, as high-level
Okay.
renders them, and high-level just having
Yeah.
made some updates recently. Um, it's a known issue. We've had it for a
Okay.
while. High-level changes it. We will take another look at the styling for that tool. And like if it ends up being a big problem, then we'll just
And
have
it's
to,
not huge. It's just as a UX, like you customized all the
yeah.
things for this widget. And then that's the one thing that looks wonky,
Yeah.
right? And that's the one thing you
Every
want to look awesome is you want them to
everything's
book the
pretty and
call.
on brand except this one thing.
Right. This
Yeah,
one
yeah, I hear
thing.
you.
So I just thought I'd throw that out since you were talking about redesign ideas. It's not
Oh,
huge.
that's good.
Obviously, it works, it functions. It's just a look and feel.
Mhm.
It just looks wonky because it's like, why is there so much space on the one side?
For sure.
So just a tip. Thanks.
I
Thank you.
appreciate that. Yeah, I need to talk to you, Serge, about whether we can wrap the calendar with UX anyways. It's on my list. So
Yes, yes.
we'll talk about
And
it.
yeah, lovable for the win.
Okay, good. Alrighty. Anybody just we got 6 minutes left. We have a few more things to get into. So I'll tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and move on. And then at the very end, if you have more questions, you can toss them out and we'll stick around for a little bit for those that have more questions. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the knowledge base updates. And Tiana, you wanna take it from here?
Yep. So in the last 30 days, we've got 43 new articles and 136 updated articles. We're going to be focusing a lot on updating those articles in the upcoming months. And of course, we are going to be monitoring the GHL changelog to create those new or update existing articles based on the changes and consistently updating the QA pairs to go along with them. And in the last 30 days, we have 21 news and announcements.
Thanks, Tiana.
Yep.
So quick for so much work. Man.
Yeah, I know.
Managed human rollover,
Yes.
Zach Conans. You want to take it?
I can speed run through most of these items. I'll say major focuses here in July. A continuation on just support with Extending OS. So any questions coming up regarding Extending OS, we do have dedicated queues associated to that now as well too. You'll see most of those implemented in August as well. And then a major one is related to white label onboarding. So we've been spending a lot of time cross-training agents. Many people have given feedback that they don't feel like the onboarding experience moves smoothly into the support experience. Working very hard on that. Of course, also with some of the pilot programs with AI as well too. It's also going to help hopefully increase some response times as well when we have more agents that can jump in on those really peak times. And then another big focus on enterprise support as well too. Go to the next slide there, Zach. As for live chat, we landed at 94% last month, so right where a benchmark is right here. We try to push a little higher. I think we were at 95 last month. We're looking at bumping it up a little bit more. Enterprise is sitting at 96%, and that's for a CSAT, I should say. As for first time response, this dropped about 3 seconds from last month. Last month was 61 seconds. We're currently sitting at 58 seconds, so an improvement on that. I'm looking for that to drop as well too, with a bit more availability from agents. Go to the next slide there. As for ticket response times, last town halls, we've talked a lot about tickets. We continuing to see an upwards trend. So first response time right now, a 92%, second response at 95% SLAs, and then resolution, which is our main one. Obviously, we can respond to people quick, but the actual resolution time with the current SLAs is 99.5%, which big pat on the team for improvements on that. It's probably been our most requested thing with support, taking on tickets. So still a lot of improvements on that, but we've seen a very high upwards trend on that.
And just a question on that. Just a question on that, Zach. The 92.5 and the 95.2, just for people that don't understand. Can you just quickly touch on what that means exactly for first response and second response? Like what that means in terms of response time or resolution?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously, like, we could set an autoresponder to something, but the first like genuine response from a real person, that SLA is within 4 hours right now. The second response time, same thing, within 4, and then resolution time, right now we have that to within 24 hours. So obviously there's some cases where there's back and forths, but that big one with resolution is that, within 24 hours, we're able to get, about 99% of tickets completed. The big thing is we're trying to reduce those big outliers, so the ones that last, quite a while. So that's where the team's focusing on the most.
Cool. And then manage onboarding.
Yeah, so manage onboarding. Bant mentioned the AI pilot program. We are seriously considering rolling this out to most people as well too. So definitely think about how you want to add AI to your we'll say current customers is a huge one. I think there's a massive opportunity for upsells. We want to be a part of that and simplifying it. So if you look at your customer, list, and you thinking of that daunting task of getting everyone going on AI, definitely consider using using us. You don't need to wait for the pilot program. You can do that right now. The pilot programs, a little bit different. But if you want to get your customers on AI right now, make sure you book an intake call if you haven't already. And then just again, as we mentioned, we do have AI onboarding templates, which we've already been doing. We're looking at having a bit more of a systemized one, but if you do want to make customizations, you can do that. And then, as I mentioned, we're doing a lot of support cross training. So the same white label onboarding agents that your customers will work with, a lot of the times, like, they actually will be some of the support agents to help as well too. And if they aren't the regular ones, at the very least, they'll be able to understand what's going on. It's been a bit of a disconnect in the past. And then lastly, just as for stats, or CSAT is at 98.9%. So bit of a jump up from last month as well too. So the teams are doing an awesome job on that front. And unless anyone has any questions at all, that's everything on the managed support side. And breathe.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, breathe. All right, back to questions, and let's see who has questions. Charles, you got your hand up.
Okay, on the onboarding, is there any way that we can move away from emailing the agency to creating a ticket?
Yeah, that's definitely something we can explore for sure.
Yeah, it would be much simpler.